There's an invisible magnetism certain people carry, like an inner light echoing through the ages, awakening dormant memories of who we truly are. Today, we'll delve into 6 secret attitudes that not only make others admire you, but reveal the awakening of a soul that chose to incarnate at this time, to radiate its true essence. These aren't superficial social manipulation techniques, but spiritual keys that Edgar Cayce, the most extraordinary psychic of the 20th century, revealed through his psychic readings, showing how our current behavior reflects lessons our soul came to learn and teach in this lifetime. The first sacred attitude that awakens genuine admiration in people is the ability to listen with the soul, not just with the ears. When you truly listen to someone, you're creating a sacred portal where two souls meet beyond the masks of the ego. Edgar Cayce often spoke about how our present interactions are echoes of past life relationships, and when you listen to someone with full presence, you're acknowledging the eternity that exists within that person. Imagine for a moment, how many times have you felt you've known someone forever, even though you've just met? That feeling isn't a coincidence, it's your soul recognizing a companion from previous journeys. When you truly listen, you're honoring not only the words spoken, but also the meaningful silences, the pauses where the soul breathes and reveals itself. This attitude awakens admiration because deep down, we all yearn to be truly seen and understood. When you offer the sacred gift of conscious listening, you become a mirror where the other can contemplate their own divinity reflected. The second attitude that magnetizes hearts and minds is radical authenticity, which is simply the courage to be yourself in a world that constantly tries to transform you into someone else. Cayce always emphasized that each soul incarnates with a unique purpose, a specific mission only it can fulfill. When you embrace your authenticity, you're aligned with the divine plan your soul charted before you were even born. Think of the people who have most impacted your life. They probably weren't those who tried to please everyone, but those who had the courage to show their imperfections, their fears, their vulnerabilities, while radiating an unwavering inner strength. Authenticity is like a lighthouse in the darkness, guiding other lost souls back to the path of truth. When you remove the masks society taught you to wear, you give permission for others to do the same, creating an energetic field of freedom and acceptance that is profoundly attractive and healing. It's interesting to note that history's most admired people were those who dared to go against the grain, to be different, to follow their inner truth even when it meant facing misunderstanding and judgment. The third secret attitude that awakens admiration is the ability to transform wounds into wisdom, pain into compassion. According to Edgar Cayce's revelations, our greatest difficulties in this life are opportunities our soul chose for evolution and purification. When you can extract profound lessons from your painful experiences and share those insights with kindness and humility, you become a natural healer, someone people instinctively seek out when going through difficult times. There's a vast difference between someone who merely suffered and someone who transformed their suffering into light to illuminate the path of others. The alchemic transmutation of pain into wisdom is one of the greatest achievements a soul can attain on its evolutionary journey. When you speak of your difficulties without victimhood, but with the depth of someone who understands the greater purpose behind each trial, you inspire others to find meaning in their own struggles. People are naturally drawn to those who have transformed their inner deserts into gardens of wisdom because they recognize in them the possibility of their own transformation. And here, in this moment of deep reflection on how our souls communicate through subtle gestures and conscious attitudes, I want to extend a special invitation to those of you feeling these words resonate in your heart. If these spiritual truths are touching your soul in a way you can't explain, it's because you're one of the people awakening to your greater mission in this existence. Therefore, I invite you to subscribe to this channel and activate the notification bell, because together we're creating a community of awakened souls committed to spiritual growth and conscious transformation. Each video we share here is like a seed planted in the garden of collective consciousness, and you, by joining us, become a co-creator of this silent revolution of love and wisdom that's changing the world, one soul at a time. Your subscription isn't just a click. It's a vote of confidence in the power of genuine spirituality to transform lives. Her 6 secret attitudes that inspire deep admiration. The 4th secret attitude that generates profound admiration is magnetic presence. That intangible quality, some poses of being completely present in the moment, creating an energy field that makes others feel more alive in their company. Edgar Cayce explained that when we are truly present, we are aligned with the universal life force that flows through all beings. This presence has nothing to do with superficial charisma or seduction techniques, but rather with a state of being where you are completely surrendered to the now, without resistance, without a mind fragmented between past and future. When you develop this quality, people feel they can relax in your presence, let their guard down, and simply be. There's something deeply healing about being near someone who has mastered the art of fully inhabiting their own body, their own life, their own moment. This magnetic presence is like a spiritual magnet that attracts not only admiration, but also opportunities, meaningful relationships, and transformative experiences. People intuitively sense that you are someone real, trustworthy, a solid rock in a world of appearances and superficialities. The 5th attitude that awakens genuine admiration is spiritual generosity, which goes far beyond giving material goods and manifests as the ability to offer your highest energy to uplift others. Cayce always emphasized that we are all interconnected in a great cosmic web, and when we uplift one person, we uplift all of humanity. Spiritual generosity expresses itself through small gestures laden with meaning, a genuine smile that brightens someone's day, a word of encouragement at the exact moment it's needed, a willingness to genuinely celebrate others' achievements without envy or competition. This attitude reveals a soul that understands there is no real separation between beings, that the success and happiness of others doesn't diminish our own, but actually amplifies it. When you act from this expanded understanding, you become a channel of blessings, someone through whom the universe manifests its goodness. People intuitively feel this quality and are naturally drawn to it because they recognize in you a reflection of their own divine nature, a reminder of how they too can be when they connect with their purest essence. The 6th and perhaps most powerful secret attitude that awakens profound admiration is silent wisdom, that quality of people who don't need to prove anything to anyone because they are secure in their connection to universal truths. Edgar Cayce frequently spoke about how true knowledge comes not from books or theories, but from direct connection with the source of all wisdom that resides within us. People with silent wisdom don't speak just to fill the silence or to impress, but when they do speak, their words carry weight, meaning, a resonance that touches the hearts of their listeners. They have developed a rare ability to discern when to speak and when to simply allow their presence to communicate all that needs to be communicated. This wisdom also manifests in the ability to ask profound questions instead of giving superficial answers, to guide others to their own discoveries instead of imposing ready-made truths. When you cultivate this silent wisdom, you become a beacon for souls seeking direction because they sense that you possess something genuine, tested by experience, purified by time and deep reflection. But here we arrive at the core of the deeper question. Why do certain people awaken natural admiration, while others, even if technically competent or physically attractive, go unnoticed? The answer, according to the revelations of Edgar Cayce, lies in the level of spiritual development of the soul. Each of these 6 secret attitudes actually represent the stages of a gradual awakening, layers of consciousness that we unfold as our soul matures through multiple incarnations. When you encounter someone who naturally embodies these qualities, you are facing a soul that has been through many experiences, that has learned difficult lessons, that has been refined by circumstances until it reveals its natural inner brilliance. The most fascinating thing is understanding that the admiration we feel for certain people is actually the recognition of qualities that also exist within us, but which may still be dormant, waiting for the right moment to blossom. It's as if our soul were a garden, where all the seeds of greatness have already been planted, but some haven't yet received the water of conscious experience needed to germinate. When we genuinely admire someone, we are not only recognizing their qualities, but also awakening to our own latent potential. Edgar Cayce always emphasized that there are no coincidences in the universe, only synchronicities perfectly orchestrated for our growth. The people we admire most in our lives are often mirrors showing us who we can become. Teachers in disguise who have come to inspire us to raise our own level of consciousness. Every meaningful encounter is a learning opportunity. Every person who awakens our admiration is an invitation to explore unexplored territories of our own soul. When you begin to consciously incorporate these 6 secret attitudes into your daily life, something magical happens. You not only become more admired by others, but you also develop a greater capacity to admire, to see the beauty and divine potential in every person you meet. This transformation is deeply healing, both for you and for everyone who comes into contact with your elevated energy. Conscious listening, the first of these attitudes, can be practiced immediately. In your next conversation, try listening not only to the words being said, but also to what is not being said, the emotions behind the words, the unexpressed needs of the soul that is revealing itself to you. Notice how this quality of attention transforms not only the other person's experience, but also your own perception of the richness and complexity of the present moment. Radical authenticity requires courage, but it's a courage that develops gradually, like a muscle strengthened through exercise. Start small, allowing yourself to show a little more of your truth in safe situations, peeling back layer by layer the masks you've learned to wear for protection or to please others. You'll find that people respond to your authenticity with palpable relief, as if you've given them permission to breathe more freely too. Transforming wounds into wisdom is perhaps the deepest work any soul can undertake. Every emotional scar you carry is actually a gateway to a deeper understanding of the human condition. When you stop running from your wounds and begin to dialogue with them, to extract their lessons, you become a natural healer, someone who can offer not just consolation, but also guidance to others going through similar struggles. Magnetic presence develops through the consistent practice of returning to the present moment, of anchoring yourself in the now, regardless of the mental or emotional turbulence that may be occurring. It's like learning to be the eye of the hurricane, that point of calm at the center of any storm. This quality becomes particularly powerful when you realize that your calm, centered presence offers a safe haven for other people who are experiencing moments of anxiety or confusion. Spiritual generosity blossoms naturally when you truly understand that giving and receiving are simply two aspects of the same universal flow of energy. The more you offer of your inner light, the more light you have available to offer. It's a spiritual paradox that defies materialistic logic, but is confirmed in the experience of all those who have dared to live according to this greater truth. Silent wisdom is perhaps the most subtle and powerful of these attitudes, because it emerges naturally when all the other qualities have matured and integrated harmoniously. It's the fruit of a life lived consciously, of mistakes transformed into lessons, of experiences distilled into understanding. People with silent wisdom don't need to announce what they know, because their very presence teaches. Their way of being communicates deeper truths than any speech could express. What Edgar Cayce taught us through his extraordinary psychic readings is that each of us is a unique and irreplaceable expression of universal consciousness, with specific gifts to offer the world. When you cultivate these six secret attitudes, you're not only becoming more admirable in the eyes of others, but also more aligned with your soul's purpose, more connected with the reason why you chose to be here at this specific moment in human history. There's a sacred responsibility in being admired. When others see in you elevated qualities, you become a keeper of their hopes, a protector of their faith in the possibility of human transformation. This responsibility isn't a burden, but a privilege, an opportunity to serve as a bridge between what we are and what we can become. The people who have most impacted human history weren't necessarily the most intelligent or talented in conventional terms, but rather those who managed to embody these timeless qualities of character and presence. They became channels through which universal wisdom could manifest, inspiring millions of other souls to awaken to their own divine potential. When you view your own life through this expanded perspective, seemingly random encounters, unexpected opportunities, and challenges that initially seemed like punishments but revealed themselves as blessings in disguise, begin to make sense. Everything is part of a larger plan, orchestrated by the wisdom of your own soul in collaboration with the universal intelligence that governs all creation. The genuine admiration you awaken in others when you embody these attitudes is a reflection of the unconscious recognition they have of their own divinity mirrored in you. It's as if you become a living reminder of who they truly are beneath all the layers of conditioning and limitations they've accumulated throughout this incarnation. This gradual awakening of the soul through the conscious embodiment of elevated qualities is a process that transcends a single lifetime. The attitudes you develop today become natural tendencies in future incarnations. The patterns of love, wisdom, and service you establish now create spiritual momentum that continues unfolding through the centuries. You're not just working to become a better person in this life, but contributing to the evolution of your eternal soul, and by extension, to the elevation of humanity's collective consciousness. Edgar Cayce often spoke about how groups of souls work together through multiple lifetimes, taking on different roles, but always supporting each other in spiritual growth. When you awaken admiration through these authentic qualities, you may be reconnecting with souls who were part of your sacred circle in past lives, people with whom you've already shared journeys of learning and transformation. The true beauty of these 6 sacred attitudes is that they require no external resources, depend on no favorable circumstances, and demand no approval or permission from anyone. They emerge from the conscious cultivation of your inner world, from the daily commitment to your own spiritual growth, from the willingness to become an increasingly refined and elevated version of who you truly are. Each morning you awaken with the opportunity to practice these qualities, to embody them more deeply into your being, to radiate them more naturally through your daily interactions. Every person you meet is a chance to offer mindful listening, to express authenticity, to share transformed wisdom, to be present, to be spiritually generous, to communicate through silent wisdom. The world desperately needs people who embody these qualities, awakened souls who serve as beacons of hope in times of confusion and fragmentation. When you commit to this path of inner development, you're not only improving your own life experience, but offering an invaluable gift to all of humanity. Future generations will benefit from the inner work you do today.